Okay, now next. Okay, you see, it takes a long time to discuss. Sorry for the others, but I hope that for the rest, although this is not your research, you get some points from our discussion about Abu Bakar's research. Okay, okay. Next we go to Dewa. Are you ready?
Yes, Prof. Yes, I am.
Okay. Abu Bakar, can you release the sharing of the slide?
Okay, Prof. Can I start?
Yes, yes. Please.
Do you see my screen?
Can you go to slideshow?
Okay. Okay, Prof. Okay, this is the first page, the title of my research.
Yeah, I like the title because the title is very clear for me. Okay, ICT adoption framework. So because here we know that you want to actually come up with a framework. So in the context of smart banja concept. So smart banja concept ni, the smart banja, the banja itself is a concept that you will explain.
The new term that I want to introduce.
Yeah, and the elements of this smart banja is there is a synergy between the existing micro enterprise, microfinance, and the banja institution. So meaning that for me the title is actually beautiful for me. Okay, it's very clear. It's very good. Okay, now let's go to the because no need for you to present. Let us go to the next slide, and I will actually comment on this background.
Okay, this is the background of the study. I said before I have 6 slides of the background of the study.
Okay. Now banja. Okay, first one you highlight about the banja, how it is situated in the whole of within the Bali.
Yes.
Okay. I think this is fine.
Yeah.
This is good. Okay. Can you go to the next slide?
Okay. This is the next slide. I narrowed the problem about the COVID situation, decrease the economy of Balinese people.
Okay. Now this is actually this background. It relates to the problem. Okay. This is starting of the transition between the background and the problem statement. So this is, we can see that. Okay, this is fine. This is fine, no problem. Okay, next.
Okay, the last of this slide, the last point. I want to connect the things that I want to tell about the Banjar is good things from Bali. The good what is we can say the traditional things that the government Bali try to collaborating in this pandemic. So the next slide.
Okay.
I try to explain we need to enhance the Banjar role in the economic things.
Okay. Now this is I think this part. Okay. This part. I think we can include this in literature review because I think this is good because this actually explains beyond the basic things. Okay, so now what you can do is that the first and second slide. Okay, the first and second slide. So this is the third slide, right? Okay, you see
this is first.
Okay, this is the first. Okay, let it be like this. Okay, now the second slide, which is this the second slide? Yes, this is
second
the
slide.
second slide. Say okay, decrease. Okay, can you go to the third slide?
Is the third slide. The third slide about my opinion.
Yes, the role of Banja. Okay.
This
So
is my opinion.
what I think is that the role of Banja needs to be enhanced to mean. Okay. Now the first point of the role of Banja needs to be enhanced in order to. Okay. The first point within this, the role of Banja needs to be enhanced in order to maintain the resilience of the Balinese people in the economy. Okay, can you go back to the previous slide?
Okay. Well, this is the second background of study.
Okay. Affected by the is 3 months quarter. Okay, is it possible for you to actually merge the first point and second point, Hermawan and Unity, into one point? Okay.
1 point.
Okay. And the government of Bali is collaborating with the village. That will become the second point. And the first point just now from the next slide to become the third point in this slide.
Okay.
Yes.
I see, Prof.
So basically, just take the role of Banja needs to be enhanced. Okay, so this is the background. So meaning that in the previous slide there are 3 points. Now, the next 2 points here is something that we can move to literature review.
Okay.
Okay, now the background. You have actually 2 slides. The first one and the second one. And the second one will include the first point within this slide. Okay?
Okay. I still have 3 slides more for background of
okay. Can you go to the next slide?
Yeah. This is about my opinion to bring the problem.
Okay. Background Steven, okay, even to. Okay, next slide.
Okay, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, next slide.
This is the last background of study.
The background of study.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that,
where is the problem statement?
This is the statement of problem. 2 point, just 2 point. I merged all of that background of study to 2 point of the statement of problem.
Okay. For the problem statement. Okay. Let us rearrange the problem statement. Okay, can you go to the previous slide? Okay, previous slide. Okay. Okay, now let me cover this. Okay. I want to actually create this problem statement. Okay, now let us take the first point. Okay, in your problem statement, take the first point. There are still many people whose economic conditions are lacking. Okay, that retain this one. This becomes the problem statement. Okay. Programs in Banja government are not integrated with existing programs in microfinance institution. Okay, that also we want that. Okay, number 3, this point in digital era innovation can be integrated. That is a solution. That is not the problem. That is the
Okay.
solution. So
Solution.
this one we will take out from the problem statement. So we have 1, 2, 1, number 2. Okay, the number 3 we don't want this here. Maybe somewhere else, but not here. Okay, go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, these are all the solutions. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Solution.
These are all the solutions. Okay. The reality is that supply and demand relation is not yet.
This is the problem too.
This is problem, but this one is not too clear. It's not too clear. Okay, but I think this is something that we may choose not to include, but it will actually one of the outcomes. Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Every reason must have primary need to be fulfilled. Supply and demand relationship between what? Between supply and demand. Between
supply the macro enterprise, demand the residents, the basic needs of residents.
Okay. Let us not put this first because we are not so sure. Okay. Now this one for the time for problem statement, I choose not to include any of this. Okay. Go to the next slide.
This is the statement of problem.
Okay, this is must support. Okay. Okay, what you can say, because the problem we need to put in the form of a problem. You can say that currently, okay, what you are saying that the banja structure, the banja is not being used to is the banja sufficiently used to strengthen the social economy of the community?
I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, now you see here that the banja being a fortress in preserving the culture and tradition as well as strengthening the social economy of the community. Okay, so now what is the problem here?
The problem is there is no synergy or collaboration to do that effectively, or to do that to solve the problem about property.
Okay, synergy and collaboration between
micro enterprise, microfinance, and Banjar itself.
Okay, you can say that currently, okay, there is a limited. Don't say no synergy. No is like zero. There is a limited synergy between the micro enterprise, microfinance, and the Banja to strengthen the social economy of the community.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, that's it. I think that's important. So meaning that when we say that okay, we are going to use ICT to be able to actually improve the synergy. Okay, meaning that ICT is a solution. Okay, so what you can say now, okay, the points that you have that previously that we say that okay, we select the previous problem, okay, some of the things that we want to add, plus you can say mention here, put in a suitable slides, okay, meaning that there is limited synergy and collaboration between microfinance, micro enterprise, and the Banja, okay, in strengthening the socio economy of the community.
Instantly.
Okay, so that is the problem. So meaning that we stop at that. So meaning that that's why. So once we have that, we have the solution. So what is the solution? This is the solution. We want to use ICT. So that is the solution. So meaning that now our purpose is more of to increase the synergy and collaboration. We are not saying that we are going to solve everything problem, because you cannot solve everything by just one research. But our target is that currently it is quite limited. But what we want to do is to improve the synergy. Okay. So basically, now what we have here just now, the background. We have 2 slides, right? We have 2 slides. From the problem statement, we have 1 slide just now, plus the ones that we have mentioned here. So you can try to look into the slide. How do you may have the problem statement 2 slides, or if you can fit everything in one. So it depends on the formatting. Okay. Okay. So that is the problem statement.
Okay.
Is it clear?
So in the problem statement, I just point one problem about the synergy. How about the this is our last discussion about the problem statement is business activity is highly traditional in nature. This is about the ICT use.
Okay. Basically, because I was thinking, because we want to highlight, because because the ICT problem itself, see, the lack of ICT use is not actually a problem. You see?
Yeah.
It is a tool to solve the problem, but people are not using this. So meaning that what we are saying that, okay, basically, we are trying to, one of our solution is to promote the use of ICT in a specific way, in a specific model, so that this use can help improve the synergy and collaboration of this. So
ICT is a
we
tools.
push that to the solution, to the tools, rather than the problem itself. Because meaning that if so they say that I don't have any ICT use, and so what's the problem? It's no problem. There are people who don't use ICT. It's not a problem. The problem is that the problem is the synergy. So ICT is a tool that we want to highlight as one possible way to actually to improve the situation.
Okay. I got it.
Okay.
Next,
so
about the reset question and objective, 2 slide. There is a 3 RQ and 3 RO.
Okay, let us look at the first one. What are the elements necessary that can be incorporated into the smart Banja concept? What is model? What are model CBT? Okay, let us have RQ number 1. How can ICT be used as a tool to improve the synergy? Okay. How can ICT how can ICT be used to improve the synergy and collaboration, or collaboration and synergy between this micro enterprise, microfinance, and Banja? So and that is the research question, and the research objective will be to identify the possible means of ICT use to achieve the collaboration. So here, to identify, basically what you need to do is that, you see, ICT, what can ICT? ICT can be a web portal, can be social media, can be network infrastructure, you see. So basically, if we can consider this as, because we want to relate this smart banja, the ICT to smart banja, because suddenly, because when I see in RQ1, the original RQ1, can you please just enlarge this again, the okay, so what are the elements necessary that into, you see, the smart banja concept, the smart banja concept, what are the model, okay, what are the elements? Is the elements, this is the TOE, right?
Yes, the TOE. I want to identify
the TOE, okay?
the
Okay. Okay, let us forget about what we said just now. Okay, let's just focus on this first. Later on, if we think that it's not sufficient, okay. What are the elements necessary that can be incorporated in the smart banja concept? Okay, this is fine. So the objective is to discover a new knowledge about what elements. Okay, now this is very vague. Okay, the way, because we need to be specific. So what are the elements necessary? So now the objective is to identify. You start with a 2. Okay, objective is to identify. We must use a verb to identify elements, okay, that forms elements that forms the smart banja concept. Or are you using concept or are you using model?
I
In the
like
title.
to say it's concept.
The concept. So what's the difference between concept and model?
Maybe because the smart banjar is new term.
Okay.
I think if we set model, we must know previous model. What is previous model of smart banjar? Because for now, I from the literature review, I just see about smart village, one level.
Okay, so when you say here elements, what are the elements in? Is the element in the smart banja concept the same with the elements in the smart banja model? Is it the same or is it?
This is my structure logic is the RQ1. I want to know what are the elements, everything about internal and external organization impact the innovation of technology.
Okay, first,
In the RQ2, I want to see the how the elements collaborate. Maybe just like that.
Okay, so basically,
Maybe
what I think here, okay, because I'm still not, perhaps we will look into the later on after this.
Yes,
okay, but you need to change, like discover. We cannot use the in objective. This it's not what they call. It must be smart, SMART. Is so when you say discover is very general. Like so we need to use verbs like identify, to identify, you see. Even when people used to investigate, for me it's not sufficient, because yeah, people can investigate all you want, but still you don't have any answer. But when you say that you want to identify, there must always be an answer. So
Yeah.
basically, try to change. Do not use this to discover. Okay. So basically, what you can
Yes.
show, because when you relate, because here you are using the ideas. What are the elements? So the objective must be to identify the elements, because
To
it
identify
relates.
the element. Yeah.
Okay, to identify the elements to be incorporated into the smart banja concept. Okay.
Yes, Prof.
Okay. Now, RQ2, what is the model uh, between the micro? Okay. What is the model of synergy between micro enterprise and micro in supporting the economy for the welfare within the banja structures? Here you don't want to use the smart banja, the term smart banja, because RQ1 there is a smart banja.
Okay. We can make it simple. So we set the micro enterprise, microfinance, and the banja structure is as a smart banja concept.
So meaning that in RQ1 you have identified.
Yes.
You see, you have identified the smart banja concept, which is actually involving three elements,
Yes.
which is the micro enterprise, microfinance, and the banja itself.
Yes.
So if that is you have identified, that
Oh.
you consider it's not a research question anymore.
In the initial, maybe I want to make it clear the boundary of my research. So we set the scope,
That is the scope. Okay, so if your answer is meaning that what you intend to identify is actually meaning that you want to include the microfinance, micro enterprise, and the banja itself, I don't think you need to actually add that as part of your research question.
Yes.
That will become automatically the scope. The scope of collaboration and synergy, meaning that you are focusing on the micro enterprise, microfinancing within the banja structure, meaning that you are not focusing on education, you are not focusing on some other social elements, perhaps, so you're not focusing on that. So basically that will be the scope. So I think if that is the case, so the first one, I think we do not need to include this, because that becomes, even the title is there within the title, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now RQ2 is okay. Can you actually RQ2? What is RQ3? What is number 3?
3 is about ICT adoption framework to use the synergies.
How is the ICT to be developed to synergize? Okay. Okay, produce framework, I see. Because the RO3 and RO2 is very close. Okay, can you go back to the previous slide? Okay. Okay, in your literature review, uh, did you actually go on into the micro enterprise, microfinance to look into what are the elements within the micro enterprise and microfinance itself to be included within your model later on? Is that part of your research?
Not yet, Prof.
Not yet, but you will do it.
Yeah, maybe the factor of on TOE we just know the variables, but the factor is after the research is done. The research process is find the factor of the every variables on the TOE framework.
Okay. Okay. Can we actually let us try to have this? Perhaps you want to take some notes. Okay. RQ number 1. Okay. To identify the research question, what are the important elements, okay, in a smart banja concept? Okay, what are the elements in a smart banja concept? Okay, and the related research objective is to identify the elements in a smart banja concept. So that is the RQ1 and RO1. So meaning that here what you do is that basically what you do is that you will go into to see later on. Okay, meaning that when you have idea, okay, one of the things is that you have within the smart banja concept there is the component of micro enterprise.
Yes.
You have microfinance and the banja itself, and within the micro enterprise you will have to identify, so what consists of micro enterprise, so what is inside the micro enterprise. Perhaps you will do that, right? So even in microfinance, what are the important things in microfinance, and even in the banja itself, what are the important things into the banja? So meaning that this you can study by using by literature review, meaning that you identify what are the important things that you want to relate to this smart banja concept. So meaning that here just identify the things that is related, no need to have relationship and so on. That's the most basic things. Okay, so that is number 1. Okay, now number 2, we can actually stick to this what is the how so okay, let us try to put in how can a model be created or be constructed. You can use, okay, be created to allow the synergy of this micro enterprise, microfinance, okay, and microfinance and microfinance within the banja structure to support the economy, okay, of the community. To support the economy of the community's economy. It's the same thing. Okay, no need to put in for the welfare of its people, because welfare, once we are focusing on to support the economy, automatically once the economy is better, hopefully the welfare will be better. Okay, so no need to use the welfare. So meaning that now the research objective will be to develop a model. Okay, to develop a model to allow the synergy and so on. So basically it's the same. We rephrase. Once is what how do you develop, and this is to develop and so on. Okay, okay, number 3, RQ number 3. Okay, RQ number 3. Okay, this is what we call the proof of concept. Okay, meaning that once we have the model, okay, we want to show that it is practical. Okay, it is practical, and it is not just on paper. It's something that can realistically be used. So here we can to show that. Okay, so one research question is that okay, how can ICT tools be used, okay, to operationalize the smart banja, or to operationalize the model. Tak payah, we don't say that the concept to operationalize the model, because previously in RQ2 we mentioned about the model, right?
Yes.
How can the IC tools be developed? How can IC be developed and can be developed, and there are two things. One, we develop, so but one thing we want to show that this is, we want to adopt and adapt, because sometimes we are using existing social media, let's say WhatsApp group. We did not create the WhatsApp media, right? We are just using in a very specific way. So what we can say that, how can existing ICT tools be adopted and adapted? How can existing ICT tools be adopted and adapted? Adapted we change, adopted we just use, adapted and adopted to allow the operationalization is a long word, operationalization the operationalization of the model. Okay, so the research objective is to create, okay, to adopt and adapt, okay, to adopt and adapt ICT tools, okay, ICT tools, okay,
ICT tools,
to for the we change to allow just change to allow to for the operation of the model as proof of concept, as proof of concept. So meaning that later on, one of the process that you need to do once you have all this beautiful model and so on, you need to be able to combine, perhaps use to show that you take WhatsApp, you take different perhaps some of the things you may have to create some small application perhaps,
Yes.
or combine existing application, you modify and so on, and to show that you take for example a case study, meaning that you do this in one of the villages or to a few villages, try to get
Yes.
people in this, so that can we actually use all these ICT tools to support our model and to show that it works and it will give a very positive feedback from those who actually use this. So basically, this is what we call proof of concept. That is another level of, let's say, to support the validation. For example, when we create the model, we need to validate. So here, you may want to actually go to the experts, some stakeholders, interview them, asking them, do you think that this will, it is possible for us to do like this? Get their sort of approval of what you want to do. Okay, but that is validation on paper, theoretically, but then you need to be able to show that it actually can be used in practice, practically.
Yes, it works.
So that is proof of concept. So this is
Yeah.
what you, so at the end of the day, you may be able to show that, okay, here for discussion, so you can create a new platform, or perhaps you can use existing WhatsApp group, but this is how you do it, or perhaps some other social media, or I don't know. So whatever tools, the IC2 tools that will be sort of supporting all this, can be desktop application, can use Excel, so whatever, yeah. Just at the end of the day, how does all these different things you put together, and everything will be based on your model, actually relates to your model.
That's clear, Prof.
Yeah, so this is the thing that, so we have 3 objectives here. Yes, 3 is good enough. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we can change this. Okay, now can we go to the next one?
This is about the expectation.
Okay, so here is the expected outcome. Okay, now this expected outcome for the okay, no worry. Can we look into the methodology first? How do you want to achieve? Have you think of the methodology?
Not done yet, Prof.
Okay,
But this is
you have some ideas?
yeah. The methodologies before with you discussion. The methodology about we will do the action research and the case study.
Okay. We may or may not use that. It depends.
Okay.
It depends on how, because sometimes, you know, one thing that works here may not be so easy when it depends on the situation. Okay, but no problem. Okay. Okay, can you can you okay, I want to see the smart Banjar model.
Smart Banjar model.
Yeah.
Previous. I think this is not the last. Sorry,
Ah.
Prof.
Okay, so basically, okay, what you need to you need to look back, okay, because I think this is the one we have done previously, okay. So basically, what I want you to do, because I think the concept is there, the concept of this, the concept is there, but like I said to you, because basically, uh,
Yeah, this is
uh, yes. So basically, when you come up with any model, but I think the model looks very interesting. Your model looks very interesting. But as of with any research, proposal defense, or even Viva, you must be able to show that it comes from the literature. Okay, so meaning that for example, like I say that you have incorporated TOE within the smart baja concept. Okay, TOE. Then in the literature review, you need to actually mention it in the slides. Okay, basically, you have actually choose to incorporate the TOE model. Okay, meaning that before you show your smart banja concept, okay,
yeah.
you must show this is TOE, the original TOE.
Yes.
Okay, of course you also have actually because you have shown me some of the literature that you refer to. There are some different elements in the form of
Yeah.
other things. Okay, so basically those are all the different source of your actually the smart banja concept, the different source. So basically these are the things that you want to cover in your proposal defense, because one of the things that all the assessors will have to assess is that, okay, have you actually consider existing work to support what you are proposing now. So basically it's important for you, for example here, like from Ella and Andari. So basically, so what is this? Okay, this so meaning that you need to actually explain a little bit in general. So
Yeah.
basically now, for example, you say okay, this is a model. This is a model for Ella and Andari. So what does this model represent in
So,
general?
Prof, can I ask before
Yes,
about explanation about the previous model? I put in the chapter 2 or 3?
chapter 2.
2. Okay.
Because
Chapter 2.
okay, because you see the difference. Okay, chapter 2, okay, meaning that all the literature, okay, but in the slides you cannot put everything, right? You cannot put
Yeah.
everything because it's the slide. You take on, so these are the models, okay, the different models that actually is being used to, that contributes to your proposed model. What you do is your proposed model. So meaning that before you show your proposed model, you need to actually show the existing model and give a little bit of very brief explanation.
Yeah. Yeah, Prof.
Okay, some other examiners, okay, because basically when they pick the the assessors for the proposal defense, okay, basically I do not have any say on who they pick. Okay, they pick who they think that is most suitable. Okay, many of them basically, if this is from the information section, they will always ask about, okay, now you see TOE, then they will ask, okay, why didn't you consider model A, model B, model C, model D, model E, and so on? So basically, they will not accept, for example, you find TOE interesting, you just take TOE, and you say that this is good, I'm using this one, but they will ask, have you considered other models? What other models have you considered? Okay, then so you need an answer. So most probably, I would advise my students to say that, yes, I have considered this model, this adoption model, because this is adoption. You have model A, model B, model C, model D, model E, and so on. Okay, but I find it not suitable because, for example, this TAM is more towards for individual. It is not on the organizational level. So basically, you need to give a very convincing answer to that. So basically, they will be asking about this. Okay, have you considered this model? They will mention a lot of model, because, and then they will criticize you if they say that, oh, I know that you want to use TOE, but you cannot just take TOE. You need to consider different models. Meaning that is one question that they will always ask. So you have to be prepared with this. So perhaps that you can actually, if there are the models that you have read, you may want to list the models in a slide, but you may give some comments, put in the table comments, meaning that not you will this one is like you do a check mark or X, meaning that you think that this is not so relevant to the ones that you want to use, just to show that you have covered a lot of models, rather than just take TOE. Then people say, okay, why TOE? Why not A? Why not B? Why not C? Why not D? And then that will be unfortunate for you during the proposal defense. So, okay, so what I want you to do now is that to Abu Bakar and to Gede Budayasa, okay, what you need to do is that all of you, okay, if Colonel Zulkifli is here, okay, you also need to actually, before you show your proposed model, okay, perhaps model version 1, okay, the Smart Banjar model version 1, okay, you need to show the different models or different literature that actually supports as the basis before you come up with the model 1, okay, model version 1, okay. So remember, proposal defense literature review is very important, okay, you have to show that. Okay, then once you have literature review, okay, you can actually show, okay, from the literature review, you come up with the model version 1. So normally, although the model version 1 you can put at the end of the slide, but sometimes people like after the literature review you have model version 1, because the model, after you do literature review, you come up with the model. The model comes from the literature. Okay, so for the methodology, okay, next you go to the methodology. Okay, it's the same way that we have discussed with Abu Bakar. So meaning that the first thing that you must go into, like, they want to see the flow, meaning that, for example, first you come up with the model version 1. How do you come up with the model version 1? This is 100% from literature review, right? Okay, then you need to decide what do you do next. This from the literature review, you have this. How do you actually, what do you want to do with it? Okay, what do you want to do with it? So, like Abu Bakar will want feedback from the staff and so on. That is Abu Bakar. But what do you want to do once you have that? Okay, so do you need to actually detail this out? How do you detail? Okay, because for example, when you have a model, the model is actually very general in nature. So at that point of time, do you think that you can actually detail out the model into the specific elements within this? Okay, detail out the model, and how do you get expert view? So this is like, again, you have to identify okay, for every part. So meaning that, do you need to actually get, I think you must get some involvement from the stakeholders. Okay, so how do you want to go about in validating the model itself? Okay, first you have to detail that out first, and the process of validating, there are several ways of validation, like we have discussed just now with Abu Bakar. We have interview. Okay, you interview the experts. Okay, sometimes there is a questionnaire, there is a Delphi method, but in general, okay, Delphi method is actually quantitative in nature. Interview is qualitative in nature. Okay, you have to interview and so on. And then after that, okay, you want to operationalize, because now the concept will actually a concept, just a concept on paper does not mean anything to the people. How what is the process for you to actually to actually evolve from the concept to the actual thing? How do you go about this one? So for example, when you want to talk about the synergy between micro enterprise and micro financing, that is a big concept. But within micro enterprise, micro financing, there what's inside micro financing? Okay, what are the things that you want to collaborate between this and this? So what do you have? So that is the part that you need to detail out, and only after you detail that out, okay, then only you get the expert to give the feedback. Because if you actually, for example, just roughly the model itself, and suddenly you want to expert, and the expert will always look into the model, everything is okay, but at the end of the day, the big model itself does not mean anything, because you need to go very detailed for you to be able to have this synergy. How does this, and then there is a question mark, or also there is this TOE, fine, that is a concept, but how does to operationalize? Okay, how do you make sure that it is actually a synergy? So what kind of collaboration do you need to create between, let's say, the enterprises itself and the financing? What mechanism that you need to create, and so on? Okay, so basically these are the things that you need to out. So, and then there is a question mark. So meaning that, how do you detail this out? Can you detail this out just by reading some documents, report, or you need to go and see someone who are expert in this area, so that you can have a discussion, get their feedback, so that from the feedback you can actually put into the details of how everything can synergize between each other. So these are all the methodology that you need to put inside. So you get me, Dewa?
Yeah, Prof.
Although I don't have answer for you because I'm not expert in this, unfortunately. But what I'm saying is that these are the methodology. So for this point of time, okay, what I would want you to actually think of which don't worry about being wrong. Just share with us later on when our next session. When you have this model, what do you do next with it? What do you next until everything is finished? To the extent of, for example, when you have proof of concept. So what do you do? Okay, what do you do? Maybe you have no idea at this point of time what to do, but at least you have idea that okay, we are going to actually create a portal. We are going to create a special portal so that users can, a simple portal, or we can use existing social media apps to allow something and so on. So basically, just sort of a general idea that you can put that. So but at the end of the day, the last thing is that we want actually to the users to, you create something that the users as a case study to participate, to see whether is it easier to have synergy, okay, between the micro enterprises and the microfinancing within the smart banja concept, and what are the feedback from the participants. The participant will give feedback. What are the benefits from that based on the feedback from the participant and so on. So that will wrap things up until the end of the. But in between, from the model until the actual portal and so on, there is empty gap that you need to think of. How do I put things in place? It's not easy, but I think it is realistic for you to have that.
Okay, bro. I will try.
Inshallah, you will try. So okay, can for our next seminar, can you actually try to first, I want you to put in the literature review in your slides.
Yeah.
Okay. Until the model. So what does your model version 1 looks like? Okay. 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 And the methodology, how to achieve the details. Okay. The methodology.
Yes, bro. About the literature review, I put in the slide about the main idea of the sentence, like that, Prof.
Okay. In the literature review, so actually the literature review, the only thing that is important for you is that what are the, okay, for example, you have all those different, see, okay, now TOE, okay, for example, TOE, there is a okay, for example, you see here you have covered a lot. See, all these are in sentence form, right?
Yes,
why don't
yes.
you put in a table simplify? You have all those TRA,
Yes.
TPB, okay, and perhaps you have one column which you evaluate, so how relevant this model to your research work.
Yeah.
You may give like a rating, meaning that low, moderate, high. So for example, TOE is high, so you put in high. For example, TAM, you consider this is just moderate or low, you put in low. So meaning that just to show that when you select the model to be the basis of your research, you are actually you have considered many other models. So here, rather than it's all wordy, create a table.
Yes, Prof.
And with table, list, and give some, you rate in terms of how relevant is this model to your work. Okay, so you have covered everything. Okay, and for the models that you find that this is highly relevant, for example TOE and some of the work from it's not a model, but some of the work from the papers that you have read, okay, that contributes to the smart Banja model. So basically, if there is a diagram and so on, for example TOE, just take the original TOE, just put this is TOE, and this is like mean a big contribution to your model, okay, and other models, okay.
Yes, Prof.
Okay. So basically, when remember that when we present, okay, the wordiness is difficult for people to comprehend everything. So you need to simplify and give in, if possible, is in a visual manner, and if there is many things, put in a form of a table, okay, you can compare and so on, okay. So that is the literature. So did I answer your question just now?
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof.
Okay, and the methodology, I try to think of what are the steps that is possible. What do you want to do after this? Okay, once you have this, so what do you do? How do you create this one? Because previously you have mentioned to me that you want to do a survey, you want to do something. Okay,
Yes.
put that in writing so that I can see what are the things that you want, and we will scrutinize together, together to see that, okay, this is something that, okay, why do you want to do this? I will be asking, why do you want to do this? Should you do this? What are you trying to test? Even you said previously that you want to create a WhatsApp group. So when you create a WhatsApp group, for what purpose? Okay, what kind of information that you want to have from this WhatsApp group? Okay, is it to try something out, or is it to get information? So we must be clear of what you, but no problem, just put everything. There's no right or wrong at this point of time, but once you have put, so we can scrutinize, we can go through, and we will try to come with something that is logical and reasonable for you within the time that you have, and I will make sure that we must make sure that the things that you do is within your capabilities. Do not be overly ambitious to the extent that it will kill you. You have to be smart, okay? Okay, so in 3 weeks time, I hope to have another seminar. So hopefully that you can fill in the gaps, okay?